Today, we find ourselves in a war with an unknown enemy. I'm strapped up and prepared for combat. My boots are laced, my helmet is strapped on, but there's just one small issue. We have no leader! Who will lead us today into the battlefield? Luckily, I have the Minecraft mobs who may or may not be suited for the occasion. For today's video, I'm only going to rank the hostile and typical enemy-like mobs of Minecraft for this video, as we need the creatures who have what it takes to lead us to glory. The criteria for determining our leader will be this: fearlessness, tactical ability, survivability, decisiveness, and resilience. So as always, let's hop right back into it and see who is a worthy warrior and who is a crummy coward. Let's kick things off this video with the main mobs first, starting with the zombie. A ruthless mob who has a singular purpose in life: to chase and destroy us. The zombie knows no fear, as it will do anything to achieve its goal. Now, the zombie does have zero tactical ability besides to rush at us at a brisk walking speed, and it also has zero survivability skills, as it does run out into daylight without a helmet and turns into fire to get to us. But it does have a decent resilience, and of course, it is very decisive. Overall, I am moderately impressed with the zombie, at least enough to throw it into the B tier. Similarly, we have the zombie villager, who in my mind is a slightly worse version of a normal zombie in terms of its leader abilities. If the enemy has a pot of weakness and a golden apple, we're finished. That normal villager will just cower and run in fear, so I'm gonna knock the villager variant down below the zombie into the C tier. As for the baby zombie, we all know it is even more ruthless than that of the regular zombie. It moves faster, survives our missed attacks that are aimed too high, and even mounts chickens to gain the upper hand. The baby zombie is the creature that would sprint as fast across the battlefield with us alongside it and lead us to victory. It would know what to do, when to do it, and how to do it. The baby zombie is a master of ambushes and a brute warrior at heart, so it knows how to lead. The baby zombie therefore would be going into the highest tier of S tier. Also, for the husk, I just think of it to be identical to the zombie, but it does not burn in sunlight and somehow zaps the food out of my stomach. For that, I mean, I'm going to give it basically just the same tier as the zombie, and I'm going to throw it into the B tier. Moving on, we go to the archer who never misses, the skeleton. Now, the skeleton to me has quite a bit more tactical ability than that of the zombie, as it remains at a range to engage us with its ranged weapon, aka the bow. Is this a sign of cowardice, as it remains at a range instead of coming up close? Not really. It just wants to use its weaponry to its fullest extent. Now, in close quarters, we do whoop it, so I am not sold on the resilience of it. The skeleton would definitely lead well, but would not survive if the enemy gets too close. But I still think of it as a solid choice, so with that, I'm going to throw the skeleton into the A tier. Also put the stray, the slowness-tipped arrow-firing variant of the skeleton, in the A tier as well. They are identical in personalities and traits otherwise. As for the bogged, they're too decayed in comparison to the other skeleton variants. I just have a hunch they wouldn't lead quite as well, so I'm gonna knock on my tier below and throw them into the B tier. As for the nether variant wither skeleton, I have a bit more reservations. Of course, it is a bit stronger with its sword in hand in comparison to that of the normal skeleton, but it does not have the tactical finesse of the normal skeleton. It charges and swings much like a normal zombie. I appreciate that dedication, but I am also a bit scared to get anywhere near a wither skeleton. How'd I know that I might just try to adjust my uniform and instead wither me too? I'm just not convinced by it. I find it to not be quite at the bottom, but it is enough for me to throw the wither skeleton into the D tier. Following up, we move to the all-time classic Creeper, which obviously has the tactical know-how with the ambushing techniques it implements, but the self-exploding ability seems pretty bad. A Creeper as a leader would lead us into the first wave, leave a crater, and then leave us without a commander. I'm just too afraid that we'd have no capable leader after our very first encounter. The Creeper is a favorite, but for this video, it would just not survive too long, so I'm going to follow up and throw the Creeper in the D tier as well. We will now move to the swamp-living witch, who, like the Creeper, has a sneak attack ability to ambush enemies. With that witch cackling the whole dang time, I question how well it will actually work. I find the witch to be pretty bland as a leader and would make us drink strange potions in an attempt to improve battle performance with long-time negative effects that we are just unaware of. Also, the witch with its gaseous throwing attacks is definitely against the Geneva Convention, so we better hope we never get captured. The witch is just the same to me as the Creeper in terms of being a leader, so I'm just going to follow up and also throw it into the D tier. Moving forward, we find the spider, an oh-so-loving creature at day, and a mad-ladded mob at night. That nighttime aggressiveness can be useful to an extent, but I find the spider to be just fearful at daytime that it lost its camouflage. The spider has no real abilities besides the ability to climb fortifications, and so it would have to sneak in and open the gate from the inside for it to work well. I'm just not too impressed with the spider, but it's still at least a mid-tier candidate, so with that, I'm gonna give it the C tier. There is no mob on this list with a better ability to sneak behind enemy lines than that of the Enderman. Its teleportation has the capability to do everything we need to do while no one else is aware it is even happening. The Enderman for the most part seems intelligent and is definitely fearless, but there are two flaws. We cannot enter battle while it is raining, and we cannot look at the Enderman without it going ballistic on us. Even if we wore pumpkin helmets, we're just going to limit our vision, so that's a negative aspect of that. For those two reasons, I find the Enderman to be an average candidate at best, so with that, I'm going to give the Enderman the B tier. The cube of gelatinous destruction, the slime, is next. We find it to have no real intelligence, no tactical know-how, and no real threatening ability. But man, is it determined to jump around. And it can produce a smaller army of its own at least. As a leader though, the slime would just lead us to our downfall. I am unenthused by it being my leader. So this is going to be the first one that I throw into the bottom, into the F tier. The silverfish, the hidden mob from stone, is next. Now, that ability to come from stone is useful, but how can I do that? Only my fearless leader has that ability. Now, I do find it to be a bit tactical, and of course that aggressiveness is what we needed in a leader, but the low health and slow speed makes me think it won't really do much in the first place. It would still know how to lead and try its hardest, but I just do not expect it to be a leader for just a real long duration. So I'm gonna have to give the silverfish the B tier. Next up, we move to the first of the illagers, the pillager, the crossbow wielding maniacs who take all that they can and give nothing back. Do I think that the ruthlessness that comes along with the war horns of doom is a good trait that the pillagers possess? Yes, for this tier list at least. Do I think that they have strategic minds that plunder villages of their riches? Yes. I think the pillager has a corrupt mindset, but can lead anyone into battle with their abilities. I do think of them more as a commander than that of the other illagers due to them staying back and using their cunning to fire the ranged weapons and let the underlings do the melee. So with that, the pillager's top tier, and therefore I'm gonna give it the S tier. For the axe-wielding Vindicators, they have the same spirit, but not the tact that the previous pillagers had. They're the brutes with a tad bit less intelligence and are sent forward because they're meant to follow, not lead. Still, Vindicators are excellent candidates if they were given a chance to lead. I will place the Vindicators in a tier below the pillagers though, and so with that, I'm going to throw them into the A tier. Next up on the illagers is the Evokers, the magic-wielding fellers who know lots of sweet spells, including the famed Blockius Removius. Now they're of course the ones that I would deem the most intelligent of the illagers, but I have one fault with them. How could they not use their totems of undying just so they can at least have another life before they fall in battle? That one fact alone has always bothered me, and so I'm going to keep the Evokers out of the S tier for that reason alone, just because that's just misallocation of resources, and I'm going to give them the A tier. As for the little summoned monsters that come from the Evokers, the Vex, I'm not convinced they would do anything long term. They simply live to fight and then go poof. How can I have something lead that lasts an average of like a minute? Give the Vex the F tier. The biggest and last of the illager family is next, the Ravager, the ultimate pet, the ultimate warrior, and the ultimate ram. Now of course the Ravager does not know how to lead due to the simplistic mind inside that hog-like body and weird illager face on the front of it. It is the one that you ride into battle, not let lead. But still, it is at least tanky and can be used as inspiration for the amount of hits it can take and still move forward. The Ravager is not quite F tier material, but I will throw it into the D tier. The most annoying mob on this tier list is next, the Phantom. If anyone could find a reason for me to include this thing anywhere other than the F tier, please leave a comment below. But I'm not at all convinced by its prowess. It is just some annoying bird that looks like a manta ray that pecks at you for staying up past your bedtime too many times. It does not lead, it does not have anything of use, and it bothers me to no end. I don't care if it's a mind manipulation or something along those lines. To me, the Phantom shall be placed into the F tier, where it could be long forgotten on the battlefield. We move to the first of the waterborne creatures, where we have the Drowned, which is just a swimming variant of a zombie with a trident sometimes. It would definitely be used for naval tactics, but otherwise, I just find it identical to that of the zombie. Give it the same tier of the B tier. Next up, we move to the pufferfish with the one distinct eye, the Guardian. Now, in my mind, all they are is a semi-intelligent fish that protects its plunders from the pirating looters, aka us. It does not lead, it does not attack, and it has two things on its mind: laser beams and spikes if we get close. Place the Guardian into the F tier. For the Elder Guardian, it is the same as the normal Guardian, except it applies mining fatigue and is way more hardy. Otherwise, nothing has really changed. I mean, at least due to the upgraded resilience, I'm going to throw it a tier above the normal Guardian into the D tier. Let's move on to the Nether, where we first meet the gold-loving piglins. Now, that gold is what will be their downfall. They're too preoccupied with riches to see that we need a leader. Now, at least they will lead while I wear my gold-plated helmet, so that's a plus. If I lose my helmet, I mean, I'm out of uniform, they're going to take me out, I don't know. They seem fine when they are not thinking about gold, but the problem is that they are always thinking about it. Piglins are still just not horrible to lead into battle. I mean, I'll at least give them the A tier. As for the zombified piglin, it has lost brains and therefore is not near as capable. Maybe the zombie aspect of it being resurrected would be an inspiring trait. Think of a leader who's known as the one who came back to life. Seems pretty cool to me. But still, it is a mid-tiered candidate. Give the zombified piglin the C tier. For the tougher piglin brute, I am much more impressed with it due to the simple fact that gold is not a distraction for the brute. Let it lead me into combat with axe raised, and morale will be the highest it has ever been as the piglin brute leads us from victory to victory. We shall take that nether fortress, and we shall never let it go. Give the piglin brute the S tier. As for the more animalistic hoglin, which is literally just a blocky hog, you know where I'm throwing this one. I don't care that they're in packs, they're hogs. We're gonna lose any battle that a whole hog is leading us. F tier. Same with the zoglin, except it's just stinkier than the hoglin, which says a lot. F tier. For the magma cubes, I just enjoy them ever so slightly more than regular slimes. Call it nether bias, call it whatever you want. I'm throwing the magma cube one tier above the slime, and I'm gonna throw it into the D tier. Now for the flame slinging ghasts, I have one important piece of information. They made their own music disc. Compare that to any other creature in the nether, including the pigs in Pigstep, which they did not make, it was just named after them. The ghasts have audio of their voices in the music disc tiers, so I know that they can inspire with their oohs and their ahs. I like the idea of a giant ghost who can hover over the battlefield and rain fire upon the enemy. They would move us to tears with their sounds, would be a front runner on the battlefield, and would help in any way, shape, or form to ensure that the battle is won. Give the ghast the high honor of S tier. Lastly, for the nether, we have the Blaze, which is another fire-slinging leader who knows what to do for the most part, but it does seem tunnel-visioned and simple-minded, so I do question the battle strategies it would come up with. I find it to be a strict leader, but one who does not care for the people it's put in charge of. The Blaze is just a mid-tier candidate, so give it the C tier. Similarly, for the Trial Chambers version known as the Breeze, they just defend and don't really do anything else, and they use wind attacks instead of fire attacks. Also, give it the C tier. Next up is the biggest brute down below, the Warden, who's blind and sees with all of its other senses. I enjoy that mindset the Warden gives in defending its home, and I do like the idea of it defending against the invaders. Is the Warden's blindness hindering its ability to lead? I don't think so. I think the blindness is an inspiration, but that brutish mindset does make me think it would be a little bit cruel to the underlings beneath it. Overall, the big brute would be a great leader, even though it is a bit of a bully. I also do wonder in combat if it would have the ability to distinguish friend from foe. Maybe it could just lead in the back, but still, I will go ahead and give the Warden the A tier. For the Defender of the Pale Forest, the Creaking, it is unable to move when anyone is looking at it. How on earth is that thing going to lead when all the enemy has to do is stare at it and it freezes up and doesn't issue any commands? I don't care how strong it could be, it will do nothing good once we actually enter battle. Creaking, meet the F tier. Following the F tier material, we go into more F tier material, the Endermite. This is the creature that is so small that you question if it is even there, and it only has a 5% chance of spawning. So chances are it is even there to begin with. How are we supposed to find a tiny creature in the midst of battle? How's it gonna do anything since it despawns so quickly anyways? Endermite follows the Creaking into the F tier. Now in the end, we find the Shulker, the creature that is a coward and simply hides in a box and only attacks in guerrilla warfare style. I do enjoy the tactics it does, but I hate the cowardice it displays by hiding in that purple box. I'll at least leave the Shulker out of the F tier, but I'm gonna give it the D tier. Next up, we move to the Wither, the exploding three-headed monster that shows no tact, but man, does it blow some stuff up. I know the Wither would lead a path of destruction, but the biggest concern with that is that the people on its side would be in that path of destruction as well. Basically, it would turn around and see the trail of destruction it left, alongside all the items dropped by its soldiers that were in the blasts. Still, at least it would accomplish its objective. Give the Wither the A tier. Lastly, for this tier list, we cannot forget the timeless boss known as the Ender Dragon. Is there anything this dragon doesn't do? It leads without cowardice, it has the tactical ability to heal itself after taking damage, it inspires us all as it is a freaking dragon. The Ender Dragon is a perfect leader who knows what to do, where to lead, and to stare at me to give me a morale boost. I have no issue finishing this list by throwing the Ender Dragon into the S tier. And once again, we find another perfect tier list. We now know what Minecraft mobs are capable to lead us into battle, and which we should just sideline and find someone else to lead. As always, tune in next time where we answer another mind-blowing question. But until next time, folks, adios.